God is offering to us in the gospel to join him in that Sabbath rest on day 7 of creation. That's what he's invited us into, because that's what he invited Adam into. The first thing Adam did wasn't to go to work. The first thing Adam did was rest. Because God had worked on his behalf. And so God rested because God's worked. And Adam's first thing was to rest in God before he did one thing. Friends, imagine the first time we see God Sabbathing. Genesis 1. Creates all things. Creates everything. God doesn't need slumbers nor sleeps. God's boundless in energy, so it can't be a restoration of exhaustion. It's without limits. No, this is being brought into the pleasures of God, by God, for God. Of just being with him. To simply be. To enjoy and delight in all that's around us through him. Through him. But the trouble is, if we think of this whole principle of rest, Sabbath, the Old Testament word, which is fundamentally the way we think about taking it easy, I think we risk missing what's really on offer for us in the gospel. Adam's rest was real. He was really enjoying God. He was. He was enjoying God's creation. But that wasn't the goal of the rest. The goal of the rest was that Adam got to enjoy God, not enjoy the things God had created. He would enjoy those, but that wasn't the goal. That was the fruit. See, many of us, the reason our rest time doesn't do anything is because our goal's in the wrong place. Our goal is to rest, to work, rather than our goal is to be with God. And if we're with God, he restores our soul. Isn't that the promise of Psalm 23? You lead me by still waters, you restore my soul. Let me help you see the difference between getting the goal right or getting the goal wrong. I'm going to read you an excerpt from C.S. Lewis's little essay, Meditations from the Toolshed. You should read it. 3 pages, PDF online. Enjoy yourself. But let me read you an excerpt from the opening words. I was standing today in a dark toolshed. The sun was shining outside, and through the crack at the top of the door, there came a sunbeam. From where I stood, that beam of light, with the specks of dust floating in it, was the most striking thing in the place. Everything was almost pitch black. I was seeing the beam, not seeing things by it. Then I moved, so that the beam fell on my eyes. Instantly, the whole previous picture had vanished. I saw no tool shed, and above all, no beam. Instead, I saw, framed in that irregular cranny at the top of the door, green leaves moving on the branches of a tree outside, and beyond that, 90-odd million miles away, the sun, looking along the beam and looking at the beam, are very different experiences. Too many of us have spent our life looking at the beam. It's beautiful, but when you look along the beam, we make an analogy of how we see God here. When we look all the way, we look, and God's our focus, everything else becomes visible and beautiful and new in a way you've never seen it before. That's the difference between resting as a goal and God as the goal.